Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we have a top 8 breakdown for the pre-Ultimate Cup that I ran today, literally today, as of recording this, with Primitive on my Twitch channel. It was 54 players, it was free to enter, first place got a box of BT11, and honestly just a really fun event. I've been starting to do some more hosting for Digimon. It's been really rewarding, and if you guys are interested in those, make sure to check out my Facebook and Twitter. I usually promote those. I promote when they go live, and then they go live, so it's not like you have to see it immediately. I do try to give an equal chance for everyone who wants to try to join in these things, and usually we have people drop towards the end of it, so good chance for a lot of people to play. We had 64 cap, and then 10 people dropped before the tournament started, so 54 players here. There is the VOD on Twitch as well if you guys want to see the matches and the games. It was 5 rounds into this top 8 that we see here today. So we did have 3 Machinedramons, 2 Grandis, a Darknight, a Bloomlord, and a Mervamon as well. So kind of diverse for what we're seeing. I think Machinedramon, Grandis, and Bloomlord, I think those are like the 3 most popular decks in general for this format that I've been seeing, at least primarily right now. I think they're pretty strong, and but there's a lot that you can be playing right now. Really exciting that we have like our own little personal format, which doesn't really happen often in this game. Normally we get to see what happened in Japan and then, you know, just pretty much do it then. So cool to have this little format, and I'm really happy for this event. So we're going to go over the top placing list for each one of these archetypes. And we're going to start off with first place. This is Jose Hernandez's first place DarkKnightmon. And before I had my tournament, I released a video like right before saying, here are my top 7s. And I said, DarkKnight is definitely a list that was on my mind. It's on my channel. It's the video before this, and just really excited to see that I did get first place in this format. It's a really unique deck. I really do like the text and kind of options you're able to run with it, and it's really neat. So primarily what you can do with this deck is you just do a lot of like DNA, or not DNA, but Digicross with like the Skull Knightmons into the DarkKnightmon. DarkKnightmon is honestly a really strong card in this format. The fact that it does do a Digivolve as well as gets a pop of something 5k or less, especially since it's just a 4 cost from hand as long as you have the sources, and then if you try to delete it, you can get the sources from underneath it. So a really flexible card, as well as the DarkKnightmon X being able to have some Tamer removal in this format, I think is strong as well. And I really think this is a strong deck in a lot of ways. So being able to have a lot of your level 4s that can substitute for each other too is really strong. Grumblemon as well to go over your Tamers when you need to have them do that. DG Dimension as well, being able to do some D-Digivolving as well as some trashing, especially in Security Strong with Ultimate Flare and Iron Fist. So you just get to run like a lot of great cards that hit in Security. These 3, Pride Memboos, Kongu, Nene, and Izzy, all strong cards for this deck. And it was a real joy to watch this deck kind of work and play. So happy that it did as well as it did. And congrats again to Jose for winning this event, for winning with DarkKnightmon, as well as getting a box of BT11. So next up, we do have our second place, and it's Machinedramon. And I've been seeing a lot of people push Machinedramon in this format, and the more I see it, the more I get why that is. It's very strong in the sense that there's not a lot that can remove it. Chaosdramon, if you're able to get into it, it's pretty much there's no way to remove it, especially with Chaos Degradation only at 1. It has this all turns when this Digimon would be deleted, return to your hand or deck, you may trash 2 level 5 cards in this Digimon's Evolution cards to prevent it from leaving play. So really hard to get rid of this. There's not a lot that you can do, and you do have to like try to get rid of it the hard way, which is difficult, especially since Analog Man is such a good card for this deck. Not only does it get cycle, it just fills up your trash, gets some memory, but also being able to redirect attacks into your Machinedramons. It's just very strong. And I think the only thing that's wrong with this deck is that it doesn't have a lot of cycle, and it takes a little bit of time to get into this deck. But it's once it starts kicking, it really does start kicking. So you do have some cards to help accelerate that, like Hogarimon's great, Gardomon is good as well. And then just a bunch of level 5s, just a lot of different effects that you can get under these Machinedramons and Chaosdramons, and they just do a lot of work if you're able to do that. So really cool to see. Honestly, like this is probably one of the best decks in the format when I see it often, and the only way it loses is if you get like very aggroed early game or you don't see your Analog Mans. But if you do see those, it's very difficult for this deck to lose a lot of the time. You just have a lot of control aspects that I think a lot of decks have a hard time to deal with right now. So congrats to Dylan on their second place finish there. And then next we do have Nikesh's third place Grandis. And I said this when I was going over MTG Girls event as well, but It's really surprising to see Grandis. I think a lot of people thought that it was just not in this format, especially with Grand Kuwagamon promo here being limited to 1, but you can still find a way. And it's essentially you have to like give up like a turn and a little bit more of the explosive power, but like we do have the Star Deck 9 Grand Kuwagamon. This just has Security Attack +1, and when Digivolving is +4k, which means you can double it up on here, which means that this will be, what, a 20k on attacking. It's harder to get the Security Attack +1 on this card, but you still get the double attack, you still can get piercing, and all of that is quite good there. So I think this is a strong deck for what it does. Still, it does a lot of nice things, and you can get like Security Attack +1 off the Kuwagamon, which is nice, especially with Kuwagamon X you can Digivolve on top of and get the effects. It is a Digivolve for 1, but I think a lot of players would pay that extra 1 for being able to do the Security Attack +1 on your Grandis as well. So it's really bizarre seeing this deck still do really well with the restrictions, but it is generically a mono green deck. Some people did like to run the blue package, but the green stuff is still really great for what it is, and I think it's going to keep doing well in this format too. So congrats to Nikesh on their finish there. Next up we have Sergiy's with their 5th place Mervamon, and this is another deck I said that I thought would do well. I didn't go straight up into the Minerva, just kind of like the more Mervamon rush, but there's a lot of great stuff that this deck can do, and a lot of power in it as well. Specifically with all the recursion you can get with this list, Mervamon being able to do this, and just like the Minervamon, if it gets deleted, if your opponent has 2 or fewer Digimon, you may play 1 purple level 5 or lower, or 1 Mervamon from your trash without paying its memory cost. And I kind of forgot that it got Merva back a little bit, so being able to get this for free is great, especially since then you get 2 more things for free. They're both level 4s from this, which you can give blocker as well. So we are running not a lot of retaliation cards in this. We are running the Dark Lizardmon and also the Devimon. So I would kind of want to see a little bit more retaliation cards, just because blocker retal is such a strong card, especially in this format. So, but I do like running the promote package. I think that's very strong, and since you're doing some discards, especially with the Blue Mervamon and the Lady Devi, if you do have either a Ginkakumon or Ginkumon or a Nidhoggmon, either this in sources or this in hand, you can reduce the devolution cost by 1, essentially by gaining the memory back, and I think that's a strong combo for you there. But I think Merva does a lot. I know we do lose the Cerberusmon package, but there's a lot going on with this deck. I think the recursion is very strong. I think the flexibility in what your plays are very strong, and the cycle, most importantly, is very strong in this format too. So congrats to Sergiy for their finish, and to wrap it on up, we do have Taylor Franco's Tayfray's 8th place Bloomlord. And I think Bloomlord is definitely the deck that everyone thought was immediately the best one into this format. It's a deck that didn't lose anything with the Ultimate Cup rules. It was already playing and contending as a green deck with only green in it. So it didn't really lose anything. But I do think it has a couple of strong points as well. Just to go into this Ultimate Cup, like the fact that Hydramon gets a deletion without deleting, like the removal with this card is really good. It bypasses a lot of cards if you need to. You're not as afraid as going wide with this deck either, since Death X isn't a thing, and a lot of other cards that kind of want you to go wide aren't as, I think, prevalent right now either. So I think that's a good point for it. Grandel Soul is being run in this, and I think that's good because, again, Grandis is still part of this format. Even if it's not usually hitting as hard as it used to, I think it's a good overall well-rounded deck. If you want to just get into the format, I think Bloomlord is probably one of the best decks for you to explore it. It's a good deck, and it's pretty solid for what it is. But that's going to be the video for us today. It's just a quick little breakdown again, but thank you all for showing up for this event. I've been really enjoying hosting tournaments, and I intend to do more in the future, and it's just really cool to see these as well. So that's going to be it. Again, thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who competed, and that's going to be it for me. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.